Whoa, I'm having, oh, I almost had a Simpson. I almost had a Simpson seizure right there. All right, good thing I'm wearing glasses. Anyway, welcome to episode 162 of the most must-see, award-winning show to ever hit the Bedford TV airways, or any airways for that matter. North, south, east, west, backwards, frontwards, diagonally, sideways, any which way you look at it, the Wrestling Connection. I am your host. I am your connection to the wrestling world, the fedorable felon himself, Mr. Ken Hill, at your service, delivering all the news to you in wrestling today. Alongside me is the lovely Miss Julie, and of course, our brand new, three-time WK Big Four pay-per-view champion, just slightly off screen, the infamous Mr. Greg Dolan.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. All right, so the new WK King of Pay-Per-View, Brian Dorrington Jr. could not be in today, but congrats to him on a hard-earned victory, very close, coming out with an 11 out of a possible 19 points at WrestleMania 33. Greg, of course, coming in second with 10. Julie coming in with I believe it was 9, wasn't it? And myself coming in with 8 points, and Nick going for that oh so rare offer, coming up just a little bit short with 1 point. Curse that.
Is that a record?
Well, no, he's gotten 1 point before, middle of last year, and this year he was so close. I thought he was going to get it, but unfortunately, thanks to that pesky Ambrose, he had just the 1 point. But anyway, like I said, WrestleMania 33 is in the books. It was action-packed. It was the thrill ride that it promised to be. All in all, it was a better WrestleMania than what we were worried about. We thought that with all the part-timers coming around again, that we thought it was going to be the same as last year. There were some matches that were exciting, some of us that took us by surprise, others that dragged out too long, and others that were just plain blah. So let's get into that. Let's get into that with our WrestleMania 33 pay-per-review view. Oh, it's an extra view. Yeah, an extra couple of views because it is WrestleMania. All right. So anyway, we start with the kickoff matches. So we start off, I believe, with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, this was one of the matches that was just kind of just there. If you've seen one Battle Royal, you kind of seen them all. Just a lot of guys just kind of like tossing each other around. You had the big guys in there. You had Mark Henry. You had Big Show. You had Braun Strowman, and it was expected. Big Show and Braun tossing guys out left and right, and then you had the not so shocker with Strowman eliminating Big Show. Then you had the real shocker. At least for a lot of us who had Strowman as the top pick to win the whole Battle Royal, being tossed out so early. So that begged the question right there. What's been the point of building up Strowman for the last few months, and then just knock him down so many pegs, having him lose to Roman at Fastlane, and then have him unceremoniously eliminated from the Battle Royal, where frankly a guy of his speed and stamina and size really should have dominated. Would probably have tossed everyone out if he could. That's what I don't understand. All right, so with Strowman out, who was going to win? We had Zayn. It seemed like Zayn was geared to win, but he gets eliminated by Titus O'Neil, of all people. So then it comes down to, of all people, Raw's Jinder Mahal and SmackDown's Mojo Rawley. Now, if anyone had been online on WWE's Twitter, you were seeing Mojo's training process. Basically, how he trains with the only other person who's as hyper and pumped up as he is, New England's own Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, as he likes to be called. Well, I was going to get ready to show that picture a little bit later, but we'll use this one for now. Gronk making his presence known in the Battle Royal at the very end, helping out his longtime friend Mojo, and resulting in Mojo eliminating Jinder Mahal and winning the Battle Royal. So on the one hand, I mean, bully for me, because I was the only one who picked Mojo to any degree to win this. So I mean, once again, the hype bros pay off for me, because last year it was Zack Ryder, this year Mojo. So I mean, looks like they got some good luck, Mojo, coming my way. So go figure. All right. So I wanted to wait to show that one until. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, I mean, it's just we had a lot of returns and debuts and surprises. That's what the second half of this review is all about. All right, so I mean, for anyone outside of the New England area, I mean, this is kind of just like another like humdrum celebrity appearance. I personally liked it. You know, New England fandom aside, I liked it. I thought it was a nice little thing. Get Gronk involved. I don't know if Orlando was quite the place where you want Gronk make a big time appearance, but you know what? Good for him. Good for Mojo. Apparently, WWE Brass does see some potential in Mojo with his tag team partner Zack right on the sideline. So we'll see where this takes Mojo in the short run. All right. So moving on from there, we come to the Intercontinental title match between champion Dean Ambrose and challenger Baron Corbin. Now there was actually some surprising expectations for this one. They thought that. I mean, first off, they thought that maybe this should have had a more hardcore atmosphere to it, that maybe, much like with AJ and Shane turned out to be, that perhaps these two would have been better suited for a street fight type stipulation rather than just a straight up one-on-one fight. As it is, I mean, the fact that supposedly they got bumped to the pre-show in lieu of the SmackDown Women's title match, and because of that, they kind of mailed it in. You could really tell, because it really felt like that they were more or less just going through their routines, going through the motions, rather than putting in a hard-hitting, impactful match. I mean, the surprise here also was Ambrose retaining, because, I mean, I guess it makes sense, because, I mean, if Corbin had won it here, even if it would have been his first championship in WWE, it would be on a pre-show, and it wouldn't have meant as much him winning it on like the main stage on the actual card at WrestleMania. So I guess I can understand why they're just holding off on it. They actually would end up having a much more fun, hard-hitting street fight on SmackDown a couple days later. I think just kind of like as an apology to the fans, saying, okay, we know you wanted something more from these guys, here you go. And then we got that, and Baron Corbin picking up the win there. So clearly, this feud is going to continue. So that much is certain. All right, so let me see. We had the Battle Royal, we had the Intercontinental title match. Was there another kickoff match that I remember there were 3 matches on the kickoff show. On the kickoff show, I believe.
I'm looking.
It's not the SmackDown Women's title match, because that was moved to the main show.
Was it the women's six-pack?
No, that's the one I'm talking about. That
Okay.
was moved to the main show.
Oh, okay. Then that's probably what you're thinking. That's probably what it was then.
Well, no, that was on the main show, not the pre-show.
All right. Well, I can quickly run through them. Ambrose. Wasn't Jericho Owens, Wyatt Orton?
Nope.
Wyatt versus Orton?
Nope.
Shane versus AJ?
Nope.
Ragtag title ladder? No.
Nope.
Wasn't Reigns versus Taker, Goldberg versus Lesnar,
Nope.
Rollins versus Triple H? No.
Nope.
Cena, Nikki, and The Miz, Taker versus Reigns.
Nope.
Neville versus Aries.
There you go. There we go. The Cruiserweight Championship. Now, this was the one that actually opened the entire show, the pre-show included. And I thought this was probably the best installment of the Cruiserweight division to date. You had plenty of back and forth right here, great chemistry between the two. Aries constantly one-upping Neville at every turn in terms of impact and submission and technical wrestling and even high-flying ability, showing that he could match and succeed Neville in every regard. And I liked the ending with Neville remembering, oh hey, this guy just came back from an eye injury, so why don't I just try to dig his eye out from his bad socket, rake his eyes, and allowing Neville to get the get the narrow win to keep his championship. Now, Aries on 205 Live this past Tuesday would win another #1 contenders match, a fatal 4-way, in order to once again challenge Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. So once again, I'm glad they're keeping this feud moving along, and the fact that Aries was indeed closing in, only for Neville to use a last-minute tactic, dirty tactic, to keep the belt on him. So I like this. It keeps things open. So good for them. I think probably one of the better matches on the entire WrestleMania card. All right, so now we opened the main WrestleMania card with Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Now, the big concern with this one, much like the Ambrose Corbin match, was that there wasn't any sort of hardcore stipulation to this. It was a straight-up wrestling match. Now, as much as I didn't like how the commentary was building up, AJ should not be underestimating Shane. Shane puts fear in anyone's eyes. I mean, I understand he's the commissioner, but they don't have to go that far to kiss up to Shane, all right? Shane himself admitted he knew he was going into an uphill battle against an all-around fantastic wrestler in AJ Styles, who's good on the ground, he's good in the air, he's good technical, he's great striking, he's phenomenal in every regard. I mean, which is already widely acknowledged. So it's not even like I'm kissing up to AJ, because everyone already knows that. So Shane, I mean, displayed some impressive grappling and arm drags and good transitions into submission holds, proving that he could at least keep up with AJ in regards to grappling. Okay, AJ did underestimate him for the first half, but really took it to town on him for the second half. Unfortunately for AJ, and fortunately for Shane, when the ref got waylaid by an errant kick from Styles, Shane took his opportunity. When AJ had Shane prone and ready to hit his own version of Shane's trademark coast to coast with a trash can, Shane countered it, bashed him with a trash can. He was ready to do the same to AJ, only for AJ to kick out at the very last second. And then Shane went for his trademark elbow, he ended up missing that. And AJ got a near fall on him. And then the final fall, where Shane had laid out AJ with a DDT, goes up top one more time, and then Shane McMahon, 47-year-old Shane McMahon, goes for a shooting star press off the top rope and nearly hit Styles with it. But AJ, moving out at the last second, rolls the ring, doesn't waste any more time, hits the phenomenal forearm, and finally puts Shane McMahon away. So, this was by far, I think exceeded anyone's I think this exceeded everyone's standards as to how this match is going to go. I mean, Julie, did you expect this?
No.
Did you expect this to be the blow-away match it was to start WrestleMania of all things?
No, I did not expect it to be.
Go ahead. The fact that you had a McMahon match opening. Usually any matches involving McMahon are usually saved for later in the night.
Right.
This opened the pay-per-view.
Yes, which was cool. Maybe they wanted to just change it up and keep people attached. I was expecting a little bit more actually from Shane. He had a lot to
Well, I think everyone was expecting him to dive out of the roller coaster thing.
Yes, that would have been good.
I think that would have killed him. There's only so much that the Daredevil the man with no fear, as Taker once called him, could potentially pull off without absolutely hospitalizing himself.
Right.
Breaking every bone in his body.
Well, if anybody could do it, he could.
Yeah, he'd be going from the man with no fear with the man with no bone structure.
There you go.
All right. So anyway, like I said, great effort from Shane and AJ. All right. So then we move on to the Fatal 4-Way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, this was an okay affair. I like the start of this. I like the start where, hold on, got to get the photo up.
Which one, Ken?
The Fatal 4-Way, Raw Women's Championship.
Got it. You see it?
Yep, see it.
Okay.
Okay, so I liked how Nia Jax started this out. She started out dominant, as she should, steamrolling the other three competitors. Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley all realized, oh, hey, we got to team up. We got to get rid of this Nia. She's going to be causing trouble for us throughout the match. Initially, Nia rebuffed all their attempts, their triple team attempts, ultimately falling victim to a Shield classic, the triple power bomb, and dogpiling her to eliminate Nia Jax. Now, then it came down to the three of them. Now, this is kind of where we were expecting the Sasha heel turn to happen. You and I were expecting it. We thought, okay, here's where Sasha either backstabs Bayley and wins the title, or she backstabs Bayley and leaves her victim to Charlotte and a 5th championship reign. Now, that did not happen. Charlotte actually eliminated Sasha by ripping off a turnbuckle and tripping her face first into it, leading to Sasha getting eliminated. Then, of course, Charlotte ended up paying for that little faux pas. She ended up cracking her head into turnbuckle, leading to a Bayley to belly from Bayley, allowing Bayley to retain the Women's Championship and have her WrestleMania moment. Now, that's all well and good, but I mean, the reason I don't rate this match so highly is just this would have meant so much more. I think it would have been so much more impactful for Bayley if she hadn't already won the Women's Championship, if she hadn't already broken Charlotte's pay-per-view winning streak. If it had ended here, with Charlotte getting pinned by Bayley winning the women's title, that would have been tremendous. That would have put Bayley firmly in the eyes of everyone as a perennial fan favorite. Because now, it's good that she won. Good for Bayley. She had her Mania moment, and it's clear that they're doing something. They're doing something with her and Sasha, because they got the slow burn going right here, which I'm hoping they do. I hope it's not just a matter of 1 week. This week, Sasha and her are best buddies, and then suddenly the next week, boom, Sasha stabs her in the back. I would like this to go on a little longer before Sasha ultimately pulls the string on Bayley and turns against her.
I was disappointed that Bayley won. I wanted Charlotte to win.
Oh, I know you did, but it's certainly interesting that Charlotte was not only the last eliminated here, but the following night on Raw, in a 6-woman tag match, she actually ended up tapping out to Sasha again. So now, now Charlotte's been on a bit of a losing streak, and then when she tried to pin the blame on Nia, one of her tag team partners, along with the returning evil Emma, safe to say, Nia did not take that blame lightly, and would end up laying out Charlotte with a Samoan drop. Now, we'll touch on it in just a minute, but it's clear that, with Charlotte, it seems like now she's on the outside looking in.
Yes, I agree.
The Women's Championship. Yeah. So it makes you wonder if there's really anything left for her on Raw, or maybe a move to SmackDown is in order for her.
Oh.
So, a fresh scene, a fresh changeup, fresh opponents. Charlotte, stuck along as long as she could, but now,
I don't think it's time for her to go. I think she's still too dominant.
I think Nia would have something to say about that.
I have to tell you, I was disappointed with Charlotte's entrance. I expected
more.
Well,
first of all, they said that her entrance was like her father, Ric Flair, which could not have been further from the truth. You had the fireworks, but first of all, while her robe was nice, the peacock was nice.
The peacock. I would just like to make a wardrobe
suggestion.
Comment. The peacocks were amazing. They were gorgeous. I loved it. I loved the cape. And then I loved her actual outfit. It was beautiful. It was the best of the night. That would be my best dressed wrestler for the night.
There you go. All right. So, that's good for her. But, at the same time, they say that her entrance was just like her father's, and it wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. First of all, you had her for a regular women's title match. You had Flair coming out in all the prestige and glamour, looking only as he could with his WrestleMania with his blue and silver WrestleMania robe.
Right.
And I mean, it's not a fair comparison, okay? It's not fair. But when they make the blatant comparison between Charlotte and her father Rick, I mean, you can't help but say that's not true in the slightest.
Right. Right.
There's just there is no comparison, and for them to point that out is ridiculous.
And Sasha's entrance was cool.
Excuse me, sorry. I have a question from Mikhail Mahone on the YouTube machine.
Okay.
He says, "Who won the match?"
I said Bayley won the match.
Like Bayley won the match.
Yeah, Bayley
Thank
won.
you.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. He says, "Who is Ric Flair?"
You're trying to bait me with this, right? Right.
I swear, it's right here.
He honestly doesn't know who Ric Flair is.
It just says follow-up question. Who is Ric Flair?
Okay, let's see. Ric Flair is a 16-time world champion, tied for most world championship reigns in history, along with John Cena. One of the greatest wrestlers in history. I mean, innovator of the figure four leg lock. I mean, he's a native of Charlotte, North Carolina. He was raised as Richard Flair by his adopted parents. So I'm okay. I mean, come on, man.
No, I think that answers his question. He also says, "I love John Cena." Just FYI.
Okay. Is he trying? Are you trying to get a rise? Is he trying to get a rise?
I'm just reading what he says. Who won the match? Follow-up question.
Okay.
Who is Ric Flair? Follow-up response. I love John Cena.
Well, okay. Well, you've given me these questions before from like random people that have.
We
like,
haven't
really...
heard from Penelope in a while. Where's
Penelope
she
in
been?
Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't know.
Oh,
If she pops in, I'll let you know.
Alrighty. Okay. So you know what? Speaking of which, let's.
Greatest of all time, John Cena.
Okay. Moving on. Speaking of. No, yeah, the greatest of all time would actually be Daniel Bryan and/or Chris Jericho. Thank you very much. The true goats of professional wrestling. All right, so moving on. Thank you. Speaking of John Cena, he and Nikki Bella went up against Miz and Maurice in the battle of the power couples. SmackDown power couples. Safe to say, this more or less went the way a number of us were expecting. I thought there was going to be a little twist right here, like with how Macho Man lost his I Quit match, his loser leaves WWE match, and then Miss Elizabeth would save him, and then they had the big reunion, and then the proposal, and the wedding at SummerSlam later that year. I thought this would be similar. Okay, John and Nikki lose, but John proposes to her in a very heartfelt, real moment, and all is well and good. Miz and Maurice get a win since they're full time on SmackDown, whereas Nikki is considering retirement, and John is a part timer at best.
Hey, I actually have another comment coming in from. I'll let you guess who this is from.
Mikhail.
Even though it's signed, it says Brian cannot be there in person or in spirit. He's busy dumping chumps at Champ Camp. Have fun at Chump Towers. Sincerely, Brian's advocate, Penpa Sari. I'll leave the other part out.
First of all, I'm surprised Penpa knows how to put proper syllables together. Second off, I mean, hey, you know what? Good, like I said, good for Brian. Good for Brian. What now? What is he now? Like a 7-8-time champion? Good for him. I'm happy for him. I'll be even happier once I have the title back. All right, so anyway, this more or less went like how everyone else was expecting. John and Nikki pick up the win in mostly dominant fashion, send Miz and Maurice packing. John talks about how supposedly there was this whole thing where Nikki was going into surgery and promised that whatever question he would ask, like that he asked her, like she would never remember, and he told her, well, you know, someday we're going to get married, right? And she said yes. So, and he asked the question again, and of course she accepts. So, goodness knows.
You thought that was real, true love, not acting.
I mean, I like how Miz and Maurice pretty much pointed out that only Cena could take what should truly be a romantic moment and turn it into a publicity stunt.
I mean, there's nothing more romantic than being in a room full of 70,000 wrestling fans.
Who were booing? Well, I mean, who were first were booing it, and then just said, "Well, okay, now we're going to look like complete, you know what, if we don't cheer this." So yeah, I think we might as well.
It would have been a good time for Nikki to turn heel. Do you know why she didn't?
Well,
What if she, said no and gave him a Stone Cold Stunner or something?
That would have been good.
Oh, that would be wishful thinking at best, Greg.
Just throwing it out there. I came up with that all by myself.
Or a kick to the Cena Juniors. I think that would have been more. I think that would been a little more apropos.
This is a family show.
I said I could go the PG-13 route. I said the Cena. Just like I can't do a euphemism. It's come on. So what? The crowd can be unhinged post WrestleMania, but we can't cut a little loose on post WrestleMania. Come on. Thank you. Cena Juniors. Yes, there you go. All right. So John and Nikki win. They don't even show up on SmackDown next day to announce their noodles or the wedding date or whatever. They did show up in the form of Miz and Maurice once again donning their John Cena and Nikki outfits. And I gotta say, these two crack me up. I'm sorry. Miz and Maurice have probably been the best thing for SmackDown next to AJ Styles for the past year. They've been hilarious. They've been consistent, and now that we got the debut of a certain NXT superstar, it should be interesting to see where Miz and Maurice go for 2017. But all in all, I thought it was an all right match, all right moment. Good for John, good for Nikki. Congrats to them on impending nuptials and the wedding and all that good stuff. And I'm sure it'll be a huge televised event with all the trimmings. Looking forward to that, or maybe not. All right. So anyway, moving on from there, we come to the Raw Tag Team Title match, a three-way. Well, was supposed to be a three-way ladder match. There you go. No, I mean, so what was interesting about this one, and I mean, my goodness, you had the hosts, the New Day, make their presence known right before the match. You're thinking, oh my goodness, the New Day is going to insert themselves into the match. What a big surprise.
There's your chat room, so you can tell people they can talk to you directly now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Read that?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So tell Mike, we can see. You can now see him as he talks to you live.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just cracking up at Penpa's nickname for himself, Papa Booty. I think Scott Steiner might have a problem with that one. That's just me. That's just me. I think the New Day and Scott Steiner might have a problem with that one. All right. So yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm getting the question. Oh yeah. I'm Michael or Mikhail. Sorry. Yeah, because I actually thought this was a good point. Why didn't Nikki turn heel? Because Cena would counterattack into an attitude adjustment. So basically, it would be all about Cena. I mean, Nikki could have the heel turn of the century, and John would just say, nope, psh, drop her, just like that. But yeah, so moving on to this one, like I said, so you had the New Day come out. You think, oh goodness, they're going to insert themselves into the tag team title match. It's going to be a fatal four-way. It was a fatal four-way, but it wasn't the New Day. It was, well, I mean, Julie.
Yeah, right here.
Bring up the picture.
All right, which one? Sorry, I was
well, the team that returned for the ladder match.
Yes, okay, hold on. I'm pulling up the picture. This was exciting.
And it was brilliant. Brilliant! The broken brilliance of Matt and Jeff Hardy. Yes! Yes! Matt and Jeff Hardy returning to WWE. I mean, the delete chants were roaring. I mean, These two came back. It was a surprisingly short ladder match. It was only 10 minutes, but it was a very fun 10 minutes.
So was the ladder short or the match short?
No, the match was short.
Okay.
The ladders are huge. I mean, you had the 20-foot ladder. Of course, you can't have a Jeff Hardy WrestleMania moment without him jumping off a 20-foot ladder. It's just not done. And here's the shocking thing that people seem to forget about this. These two competed in a ladder match with Ring of Honor's Young Bucks the night before at Ring of Honor Super Card. So the fact that these two did...
Shout out Matt Taven.
These two did 2 ladder matches on back-to-back nights at their age, in their late 30s, is unbelievable.
Hey.
What did I say now?
I'm just kidding. At their age, well, you could be a superstar.
I'm just saying, considering the wear and tear.
I meant to say.
Okay, I'm just saying the
I
wear
see
and tear.
older people in ladders all the time.
Okay, I'm saying, considering the wear and tear that Jeff has already put himself through over the years, the fact that he could still do back-to-back ladder matches, I think is pretty unbelievable.
You're
so
right.
I was actually saying that to say kudos to them.
Kudos.
I was trying to be nice, not sarcastic for once.
Got it.
So I mean, unbelievable. And not only that, winning the Raw Tag Team titles. So now they're what 7-time tag team champions, which is unbelievable. And of course, they made their return the following night. Dispatched Gallows and Anderson in the rematch.
You get some more comments there, Ken.
Oh yeah, I see them. not anytime. Wrestling Connections have to be deleted. Not anytime soon, Mikhail. Not Mahoney. Mahoney. That is Mikhail. All right. So anyway, like I said, all right. So they dispatched Gallows and Anderson in their rematch, and we found out that the new #1 contenders for the Hardy Boys tag team titles will be Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yay!
That is going to be a fun match at WWE Payback. I'm already looking forward to that. I think that's already going to be the show stealer for Payback. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So moving on from there.
Moving on.
Oh, I'm almost as good as Ric Flair. I'm flattered. Woo!
Okay,
All right.
what's our next match?
All right, so the next match, I believe. Well, you pick. Which match you like to go over next?
Oh.
Not any of the main events, though. Just all right. So let's see.
None of the main event stuff.
Well, actually, let's go over the SmackDown. Let's go over the SmackDown women's match, the 6-pack match.
All right, pulling it up.
Now this one ended up coming. Well, I mean the wood's in the way, so it's blocking Mickie James.
You fit in well in this lineup, Ken.
Oh well. Okay, so the Hardys are almost they're all North Carolina natives, so makes sense. But anyway, this came between Roman and Undertaker. It came right before Roman versus Undertaker, and right after Lesnar versus Goldberg. So once again, the women were in the breather role for this match, as it was for like a 3-minute sprint. It was actually all that bad, and ultimately it was the right outcome. Naomi won the SmackDown Women's Championship for the second time, won in her hometown. So good for Naomi getting the big hometown pop, as we were all expecting. So there was that. So that being said, I mean, you really have to wonder. I mean, okay. So let's see. I mean, because Julie, let me ask this. Let me ask you
Right
this.
here. Yes.
All right. So do you think a feud with Alexa is incoming, or do you think that Naomi would be better off facing someone new, someone fresh?
Well, I don't really like Alexa, so maybe
Alexa, not Alexa.
Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe somebody new would be cool. I really love Naomi, and I love her entrance, and I love her wardrobe.
Oh, everyone does. Everyone feels the glow.
Very cool.
You gotta say it like that. The glow.
The glow.
The glow.
And I do like
like the
Natalia
law.
more because I watched the Divas show, so I'm getting to know her personally, more about her, and it makes me, I like her. But anyway, yeah, Naomi with someone new to answer your question.
Yeah, someone new. So I mean, just to elaborate on that, I mean, you have supposedly this superstar shakeup that was announced this past week, where it's not so much a draft as it is just like, okay, trades are going to be discussed, like trading, saying like an Alexa Bliss for Charlotte from Raw, for example, trading superstars and female superstars across both brands. Now, I mean, the matchups would be interesting. We could end up seeing Naomi versus Charlotte. We could end up seeing Naomi versus Nia Jax. We could end up seeing Naomi versus her old running buddy, Sasha Banks. So there are a lot of potential matchups here with all the superstar trades that are going to go down next Monday and Tuesday. So that's something to keep in mind coming up next week, as we're going to be talking a lot about the outcomes of the superstar shakeup. All right, so what's next on the play? We did Shane versus AJ. We did the Raw tag team titles, the SmackDown 6-pack. What else we got on tap?
Do you want to do Rollins Triple H yet?
Let's do that. Rollins versus Triple H, the unsanctioned match. Now, this was one of the ones I feel I was kind of disappointed in. I mean, if you saw the last couple of unsanctioned matches in WWE, I'm talking about Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho from Unforgiven 2008, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from 2002 at SummerSlam. You would expect some more like a hard-hitting, kind of more hardcore style, a more hardcore brawl right here between these two. They're literally going at each other tooth and nail. Rollins constantly fighting from the ground up because of his severely injured knee that Triple H nearly put him on the shelf for the rest of his career for. So, I mean, instead we got much in the same vein as Triple H versus Reigns last year. We got was basically a very drawn-out technical affair that went like nearly 30 minutes. And the thing was, you could have literally cut the match time in half, and what we had right there would have been just fine. Of course, I mean, there was one upside to the match. There was one upside to the match. I think Julie knows what I'm talking about.
All right.
There was one big upside to the match, and it'll probably jeopardize any hope I have of a future career in WWE, but let's show the picture.
Okay, hold on. Pulling it up. Here we go. I was so happy for you.
Whoops. There we go. Triple H accidentally bumps into his wife. She goes through a table at ringside, and she gets the comeuppance that she should have gotten for the last year.
I got to give it to you, Ken. I thought you were crazy when you said before that she should get her comeuppance with something harmful happening to her, bodily harm. Never thought it would happen, and there it is.
It wasn't severe. It was indirect. Triple H didn't mean to run into her, but hey, she goes through a table, and all is right with the world. Okay, it can be done. It can happen. I mean, admittedly, it was accidental, just like Reigns' spear was last year. But you know what? She went through a table, collateral damage. Take what you can get. Okay. I mean, when they pull it, it was done tastefully too. It wasn't just like Rollins just like picked her up and power bombed her. It was like I said, it was incidental, but it was still fun. We still got a big pop out of it.
I did not agree with her outfit at all.
No.
I
mean, it was way too like what was that biker show?
I don't know what's going on here. It was like a biker.
It was like Katie Sagal in Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
Two Katie Sagal right there.
Yeah.
They even had like the whole biker vet, like the biker cut. That is actually what it's called. It's called a cut.
Unless they wanted her to appear like a bad guy.
Well,
she always is.
Julie, I believe the proper wrestling terminology for that
is heel.
Is duh.
Duh.
No questions there, Kenny.
All right, let's see. Question for Ken. Who has a better beard, Rollins or Trips? That's actually a good one. I mean, Triple H kind of has the, well, he's kind of got what.
You read that question too fast.
Well,
For
okay.
the folks
Who
at
has a
home.
better beard, Rollins or Trips? All right. Okay.
I'm getting to the picture.
All right. So let's see. All right. I gotta go with Rollins. It's thicker. It's more luxurious. Where Triple H is more like sparse. It's thinning out because he's getting older. So it's kind of got more of like a gruff look to it. So I actually gotta go with Rollins. I think he's got the better mustache beard combo thing. All right. Follow-up question: what is Ken's most tasteful table moment?
Besides dinner.
Well, actually, I gotta say, like, I remember when the Dudley Boys made their return to WWE a couple years ago, and then you had them feuding with the New Day, and you had the New Day going all PETA on the tables, basically saying, "We love you, tables. We love you, tables. No one's gonna put anyone through you anymore." That was actually my favorite. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's pretty wholesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wholesome. No one went through any
Delightful.
table. Well, someone did end up going through a table, but for the moment, it was a tasteful moment.
Yeah, but I mean, you go to any social gathering, someone ends up going through a table at some point.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, it's not a social gathering unless someone goes through a table.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That would just be heresy if no one went through a table. That'd be like good grief. All right, so Rollins ends up winning this with the pedigree. I was actually kind of hoping he would bring back the curb stomp because I thought that maybe you could say, well, Triple H was the one who convinced him that he needed to get rid of the curb stomp. But I mean, the fact that he pinned him with a pedigree after like a nice chain of reversals, I thought was really nice. So Rollins gets to win. Although seeing him compete in the tag team main event and more or less act like the knee hasn't been hampering him for weeks, for months, and he went to all the trouble to rehab it. Yeah, kind of spotty on the selling right there. But you know what? Rollins gets to win. That's what matters. Rollins was supposed to win this match. He needed to win this match. So again, no real complaints right there. Kind of like I said, middle of the road. If they cut out a lot of time for this match, I feel like it would have come across a lot better. Much like the Reigns Triple H match from last year. Okay, so moving on from there. Okay, we have the United States Championship match. Jericho defending against Owens. I thought this was also a great match. I like this match from beginning to end. You had plenty count. It was a lot of counter wrestling here because obviously these two known each other for the better part of last year. So there was no doubt that these two were going to throw everything at each other that they knew and maybe a couple things they didn't know. You had Jericho counting the pop-up powerbomb with a code breaker. You had Owens saving himself by getting one finger on the rope after said code breaker, and you even had Jericho kicking out of the pop-up powerbomb. So basically, I mean, who was going to come out on top here? Who was going to get their ultimate revenge? It would end up being Owens, who broke out his apron-assisted powerbomb to get the win, which makes sense, because Owens only uses the apron powerbomb when he's absolutely desperate and he needs to put someone away. So Owens wins his first United States Championship, so now he's been Universal Champion, NXT Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and United States Champion. So not a bad resume for Mr. KO. So the next night, Owens and Samoa Joe, who was surprisingly absent at WrestleMania. This really took me by surprise. We heard Joe at Fastlane the month before, talk about, oh, hey, I'm going to make an impact at WrestleMania. But he didn't show up at the unsanctioned match. He didn't show up for this match. So it begged the question, where was Joe's impact? It wasn't felt anywhere at WrestleMania, not even in the Battle Royal. So, I mean, so much for Samoa Joe's big-time impact. All right, so anyway, Owens and Samoa Joe took out Jericho before their tag team match, which meant Seth Rollins did not have a tag team partner, but lo and behold, who makes his big, fantastic return post-WrestleMania but the one tried and true Demon King, Finn Balor. There you go. Finn Balor making his long-awaited return to WWE Raw as Seth Rollins' tag team partner. Balor ended up winning the tag team match, pinning Owens after the coup de grace. So Balor is back. Looks like he's going to be getting into a program with either Owens or Samoa Joe. Neither I'd have a problem with, because both would be a fantastic match to look forward to. So it's great. He looks great. He looks 100%. So it'll also be interesting to see the dichotomy between him and Rollins. Because on one hand, they were rehab buddies. They were both rehabbing their injuries around the same time. But you also have to remember that SummerSlam last year, Balor was injured because of Seth Rollins. So the question's going to be, is Balor going to get Rollins back for that somewhere down the line? Or are we going to, or are they just going to remain, rehab buddies? Yay! We both rehab near career debilitating injuries together. That makes us strong. That makes us united. So, we'll see. But all in all, glad to see Balor back in WWE. Really looking forward to him climbing back to the top and hopefully winning back the Universal Championship. However, that's going to be easier said than done, because after this next match. Okay, well, considering that the Big Show is retiring, Michael, I would not get my hopes up about that. Yeah, the Big Show said this is going to be his final year.
I'm sorry, what, Ken?
Yeah, I know Greg's not going to like the news, but Big Show said this is going to be his final year.
Hey, you've been looking for a co-host, so I need someone on my side.
Hey, you know what? If Big Show wants to come on, I'd love to have him on.
So that's what I'm going to push for. Oh. If not, I'll do my best Big Show impression. I'll bust out the Togo like you had in WCW and just make it happen.
That's so good. Oh, God. Greg, I think that may be taking your fanhood just a little bit too far.
I don't know. I know. We'll let the audience decide.
Okay. Well, Mike, he's retiring. Deal with it. The man said so himself. Check his latest interviews. Big Show's retiring.
I won't believe it until he's retired.
Okay, well, so what? You doubt the word of Big Show?
No, I just think that he's a huge show and he won't be able to do it.
Okay, well, he's getting on in years. He's getting around to the age where Andre died.
Well, he looks like he's in better shape than he used to be.
Okay,
I think he's got some Benjamin Button action going on. I think he's going to slowly reverse into a baby. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Benjamin Button, please. All right. Yeah. Benjamin Big Show. The Big Show Button. Yeah. Boop. Ooh, yeah. He's the big baby. All right. Mike, you don't have to take Mike. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up. Big Show himself said that this is going to be his last year. That as good a shape as he in. He mostly got into shape because he wants to live a long life for his wife and his kids. That's what he said.
What if he's too big?
Okay. There are plenty of big guys that have had to retire. Okay, Viscera eventually had to retire. Okay, Kamala had to retire. Mark Henry's eventually going to be facing retirement.
I just feel like his life is as a large man like that, he probably has all sorts of accommodations when he's on the road, and then he's going to have this retired life that accommodates his large showness.
Exactly. Okay, so
it seems like a big investment. Maybe he doesn't understand how big it is.
Okay, well, if he doesn't already have those, accommodations set in place for when he retires, then shows that he wasn't really prepared for the show afterwards. Then was he?
The bigger show.
Okay, so if he's as big a show as you say he is, he should be prepared for when he retires.
It's a pretty big show.
Okay, so he should be prepared then, shouldn't he?
If he's a large enough show, then yeah, probably.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
Me and you are good. I don't know about Mikhail, but me and you are good.
All right. So moving on from there, Balor's going to be having a hard time going up to reclaim his Universal Championship, considering who the new Universal Champion is. I'm talking about the Beast Incarnate, the brand new, reigning, conquering Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar.
Brock.
How do you spell that as opposed to Brock?
Brock.
And how do you spell the version you said?
like BROOOOOOOCK.
All right, cool. I thought there was an A in there somewhere. I
Brock Lesnar.
I'd like to see Paul get in the ring. Has he ever gotten in the ring?
He's got in the ring, and safe to say he is much Wallace in the ring as he is out of the ring.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, nothing to see there. All right. So Lesnar came into this match fully prepared, knew what he was going up against with Goldberg. Goldberg came out. Now Lesnar came out strong with a trio of suplexes. Goldberg actually responded right there, firing off not one spear but two. Lesnar falls out the ringside. Goldberg spears Lesnar through the barricade, rolls him back in, goes for the jackhammer. Lesnar counters out, goes for the F5. Goldberg counters out of that and hits the jackhammer. 1, 2. Lesnar kicks out. And the reason that is so significant is that aside from an errant kick out by Hulk Hogan back in WCW, this is the first time that anyone in the history of WCW, WWE, anywhere in professional wrestling has ever kicked out of Goldberg's jackhammer. Ever. It's never legitimately happened. I mean, so that was huge right there. Then you had Lesnar coming back with 7 more suplexes, German suplexes, debilitating Goldberg, hitting the F5, and getting the 1, 2, 3, finally overcoming Goldberg. And to top it off, when Goldberg went for another spear, Lesnar leapfrogged him. A 295-pounder Lesnar leapfrogging Goldberg like he's a cruiserweight. That was unbelievable. And now Lesnar has overcome Goldberg. Goldberg walks off in the sunset. And now Lesnar is on top of the Raw brand, the new Universal Champion. So there are a lot of potential matchups right here that you could just like. You got Lesnar versus Balor. You got Lesnar versus Rollins. You got Lesnar versus Reigns again. And you got a lot of interesting matchups right here. Not to mention who could be coming over from SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup. You could see Brock Lesnar versus Shinsuke, a rematch from their time in New Japan. You could see Brock versus AJ Styles, the battle of former IWGP World Heavyweight Champions.
That's the phone right here, Greg.
I mean, there are a lot of potential matchups right here for Lesnar, which I'm really excited for, which I'm really looking forward to. All right, so moving on from there, we come to the WWE Championship match, and the WWE Championship, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. There we go. Okay, now, Julie, I think you'll agree with me on this one. I'm just going to state it outright to begin with. This was just bad.
Snoozer.
It was snoozer. It was just bad. It just like, it wasn't even so much they went through the motions. Basically, there was no structure to this match. Basically, it was all about Bray showing off his new creepy Sister Abigail type powers, with all these ring apron visions of like bugs and worms and maggots and stuff, which was pretty cool, admittedly, okay? I mean, it really had a really supernatural effect to it, much like Undertaker did in his heyday. But the problem was that not only did this not mean anything, it didn't mean anything in the long run, because Bray Wyatt lost. No one, I think, I don't know, I mean, did you or Greg pick Orton? Because I only remember one of you picking Orton to win this. Everyone else went with Wyatt.
I don't remember.
I think Greg got it right.
I think I might have gotten this one.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe this. I mean, it seemed like tailor-made for Bray to come in, get his revenge on Orton burning down the Wyatt stronghold and retaining his championship, possibly the returning Eric Rowan, who did return this past Tuesday on SmackDown. Okay, you're saying that after the... Okay, Mikhail, well, we didn't get your picks before then, so saying you picked Orton after the fact is a little...
Yeah, me and Mikhail, same page.
Well, yeah, except he picked it after he read the book. All right, so the point is, I mean, it was a lackluster match, a lackluster affair all around, a bad outcome, and then the following Tuesday, you have Bray propose a rematch between him and Orton in a House of Horrors match, which we don't even know what it is. We don't know what a House of Horrors match is. Is it like, I mean, if it's anything like the Ambrose Asylum, then it's not going to be a very good match. I mean, if it's just going to be another cage with weapons strewn, with horror-themed weapons strewn all about, then like we're looking at like coal miner's glove territory right here. This could be a really bad gimmick match. Michael is the uncrowned Big Four champion. No, that would be Greg.
No, I'm the crowned one.
Yeah, Michael, you actually have to show up on the show to be champion.
You're on.
Yeah.
Right there.
So, well, unfortunately, can't say the same for Brian. So
My crown.
Yeah, there's your crown. Now, if Brian could just show up and get his crown, that would be that'd be nice too. All right, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so there's that. So I think we're all in agreement. The Wyatt Orton match was just bad, and I'm not too excited about the follow-up because not only did we have, of course, we had the returning Eric Rowan, we had Luke Harper, siding with Randy Orton, even though these guys were at each other's throats not even 2 weeks ago. I mean, so again, I'm liking SmackDown. I like SmackDown overall, but you have these little inconsistencies right here, and it makes me wonder if Vince hasn't gotten a hold of the storyline writers over on SmackDown. Who knows? All right, so moving on from there. I believe we've covered just about everything. Is there, except for the main event? Are there any matches that I missed?
Let me see here. I'm just looking through. We did the mixed doubles: Goldberg, Lesnar, Jericho, Owens, ladder.
Yep.
Rollins, Triple H, Shane, AJ, Wyatt versus Orton.
Yep.
We did Ambrose Corbin.
Yep.
We did Battle Royale.
We did the Cruiserweight title match.
We did Neville Aries, Women's Fatal 4-Way,
Yep.
Women's Six-Pack.
Yep.
There is one more we forgot.
Not Anna Kendrick, okay? Kendrick wasn't even on the pay-per-view.
That's for Nick, who's not here.
Okay. Moving on then.
We didn't talk about Space Cat. Any of these?
No.
I'm just kidding. Are you ready for the?
Yeah, I'm ready for the main event.
Ready for the main
The
event?
main event. Yep. This was the main event.
I did.
Roman Reigns versus Undertaker. Now, this was one that, I mean, for the match itself, was, I mean, the first half was impactful. You had basically Undertaker asserting his authority to Roman, saying, this is my yard, good luck getting me out of it. I mean, Roman constantly fighting, constantly trying to put Undertaker down, never quite able to do so. I mean, hitting him with Superman punch after Superman punch, spear after spear, 4 total, in fact, including 1 spear through a ringside announce table. But just the second half of the match, I mean, you could just tell that Taker's age was really, really showing in this match, because just like you just have to look at him. You just have to look at him. Just the fact that he was exhausted, that he was blown up, that he was just dragging himself through every spot in the match. And just like it was painful to watch. Not painful like it was outright horrible. It was an okay match. I mean, with the right ending. Reigns winning, going postal on Taker with a steel chair, which I called, even though they did make the match no holds barred. So it was more in the legal sense than like post match. But I mean, it was just it was hard to watch in a pitiful way, just trying to watch Taker pick himself up when we know that he's got hip problems, that he's old, his bones are creaking, he's in constant pain. It was just hard to watch. I mean, the fact that he kept getting up spear after spear after spear after spear, Okay, Mike, seriously, you made it your lock of the night that Taker was going to retire? Really? Really? Really?
I believe it.
Really? Yeah, okay, so let me ask this. If Mike made all these picks, where was he for the show? Yeah, he was in school. Couldn't even phone it in like Brian's done. Couldn't even dial in via speakerphone. Where were you then? I thought so. Oh yeah, you called it all right. Yeah, you called it after the pay-per-view. Good on you. Blind squirrel finds a nut. All right. So point is, well, okay, it wasn't announced on the show, so it doesn't count. Sorry, man. All right. So, Julie, what were your thoughts on this match?
The match
I know,
or the amazing ending?
Well, it was
You know I
amazing.
want to talk about the ending.
Well, we talk about the ending after the fact, after Roman pinned him after 4 spears. Undertaker finally manages sets up, well, yeah, you're not a squirrel, but you sure are blind. All right. So the point is, Undertaker gets up, puts on his ring gear, then slowly takes it off, piece by piece. Glove, his jacket, his iconic hat, leaves it all in the ring. And the amazing thing was that no one touched it or the ring going well into the next day.
Really?
No one touched it. It was like a moment of reverence. Like no one touched his ring gear until absolutely the last moment when it was time to set up for the Raw for Monday Night Raw. I thought it was very touching. I thought it was a really good send off for Taker. I mean, obviously, I think he's going to be the headliner for Hall of Fame next year, 2018.
Yes.
I think it goes without saying that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame next year. That being said, like I said, overall, I liked WrestleMania. I mean, probably maybe like in like the top 10, top 15, but not one that blew me away. There were some great, like I said, some great returns, some really underrated matches. Bees. Yeah, it certainly is the bee's knees. We are the epitome of up-to-date technology here at Bedford TV. Oh yeah, no technical glitches here whatsoever. Zzz. Okay, that was just me. That wasn't an actual glitch. Sorry, couldn't help myself. All right, so that's our entire review. Now, the aftermath of WrestleMania is always interesting. Like I said, you always have these big, amazing crowds, international crowds. You have surprising returns, debuts, sometimes even a release or two. Speaking of which, now former Vaudevillain member Simon Gotch, the black and white photo.
I don't believe I have his picture, my friend.
Gotch?
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Gotch, hold on.
There we go.
Sorry.
There we go. There it is. All right, so Simon Gotch, of course, as we know, former NXT Tag Team Champion alongside Aiden English as part of the Vaudevillains, was released this past week. Now, while many claim different reasons for Simon's release, the big rumor going around is essentially what we knew before. The fact that Simon had a really bad attitude backstage, that he was constantly getting into scuffles with other superstars, one including one with Sin Cara a few months back. Basically it was supposedly the reason why the Vaudevillains weren't presented in a very good fashion on television. Quickly after their debut, they fell into obscurity in the tag team division. So now, with Gotch supposedly on the outs from WWE, the other rumor is that Aiden English is going to be in line for a small singles push. much in the same vein as Mojo Rawley, now that his tag team partner's on the outs. Now, supposedly Vince McMahon is very high on Aiden English's singing gimmick that he cultivated during his time in NXT, and wants to bring that back. I'm all for that. Aiden's a very from what I've seen in NXT, Aiden's a very charismatic superstar. They like to Michael, they like to think they're from the 20s. They have like old school beliefs and old school techniques. So they're trying to bring back the old school. I mean, yeah, they certainly do dress like they're in the 20s, but they're not from the 20s. Otherwise, they'd probably break a bone every time they took a step. All right, so the point is, though, Aiden is supposedly going to get a brief little push here in the singles division. So I'm curious to see where that goes. I mean, it also makes sense given that Aiden is married to Shaul Guerrero, the daughter of Vicky and Eddie. So it's actually good having a little bit of a wrestling family clout to help Aiden get himself over as a new singles star. So there's that to look forward to. Okay, it's called creative editing. Okay, anyone can be put in black and white. Okay, if Greg wanted to, he could broadcast me in black and white right now if he wanted to. Just turn the Technicolor off. Just that easy. Oh, is Greg? Can you guys put me in black and white?
We all look better in color.
I'd say so. All right, so, but maybe we should try that at some point. You know, do a whole show in black and white, like black and white and silent. Yeah, let's see how well that goes. All right, so anyway, there's that. But then, of course, you had some interesting debuts. Like I said, you had the debut of the Revival, two-time NXT Tag Team Champions, on Monday Night Raw. Julie?
Yes, sir.
The Revival, Monday Night Raw? Nope, Revival. Revival shatters New Day. There you go. Yep, you had you had Wilder and Dawson making their Raw debut in response to an open challenge from the New Day. Dispatch him in surprisingly quick fashion with their Shatter Machine finisher, and then putting Kofi Kingston on the shelf with one of their trademark post-match attacks. Okay, but Gotch isn't from the 20s either. Okay, it's called kayfabe. It's called kayfabe, Michael. Live it, learn it, love it. Okay. All right. So the point being is now you got the Revival on Raw, giving a nice little shot to the tag team division, the tag team ranks. Looking forward to that. Then of course you had the debut of one Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. I mean, look at this. This Shinsuke didn't have to say a word in his debut. He didn't have to. I like that they didn't have him in a match right away. The fact that he came out right after Miz implies that he and Miz are going to be mixing it up in the near future. Again, which I'm looking forward to. Miz is a great foil for anyone up and coming to really give him a proper rub, a proper boost on the main roster. So, you know, good for Shinsuke, good for Miz, good all around. Of course, you also had the debut of Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10, the perfect debut, coming from the perfect Ken, the perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, also on SmackDown. So, like I said, plenty of fun debuts. Is there anyone I left out? Anyone I hadn't considered? Because we talked about Finn Balor returning. We talked about Shinsuke's debut, Ty Dillinger's debut, the Revival debuting. I mean, I think we covered just about everything up to this point. And also, but now, like I said, the big news. No, the big news here is that next week on Raw and SmackDown, AJ Styles debuted last year at the Royal Rumble, Michael. What are you talking about? Debuted at Royal Rumble 2016 last year. If you actually bothered to watch wrestling, bothered to watch WWE, you know that. I mean, come on. Come on, throw me a fastball here. Come on, seriously. Something challenging. All right, so like I said, next Monday night, next Tuesday night on Raw and SmackDown respectively, there's going to be what's called a Superstar Shakeup, announced courtesy of Vincent Kennedy McMahon himself. So like I said, we're going to have, it's not necessarily a draft, but we will be having superstars swapped back and forth from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw. Like I said, we could easily see Shinsuke going from SmackDown to Raw. We could see the Revival being traded right over to SmackDown. We could see the New Day go over to SmackDown. We could see Strowman go over to SmackDown. We could see we could see a number of Raw superstars who are normally mainstays make the transition over there. We could see The Miz or John Cena go over to Raw, and what would happen to Maurice or Nikki Bella? There's actually a lot of intrigue right here, and that's a lot. So right now, before we sign off, I mean, Julie, I want to get your take on this. Now, I'm going to ask you two questions. Who would you want to see, both in men's and women's division, the men's division, the tag team division, and the women's division? Who would you want to see make the jump from Raw to SmackDown?
Well, I think your Charlotte idea was interesting.
There you go.
And for the men, Owens.
Owens, really? I mean, I think he's still. I mean, well, the fact that he still has a Universal title match that he's owed, I think he still has some unfinished business on Raw. So, but I mean, that is an intriguing idea. I'm actually thinking more along the lines of Seth Rollins.
Oh, that was going to be my second guess.
Because I mean, Rollins has already pretty much dealt with Triple H. He's dealt with Stephanie. He's dealt with Owens. I mean, he really the only person he hasn't dealt with is Samoa Joe. But I mean, coming after the fact that he already faced off with Triple H, I mean, I think it's kind of a moot point. Well, Michael here says that John Cena should go to Raw, and I mean, why not? Because I mean, you already got one veteran in Randy Orton on SmackDown. So I mean, why not send John Cena over to Raw? I mean, then you even have the potential of John Cena facing off with, say, Roman Reigns. I mean, that's a feud that we haven't encountered yet. I mean, that could be intriguing in and of itself. Of course, like I said, then you could I mean, like I said, you could have the New Day go over to SmackDown. I mean, freshen up the tag team division there. Because, I mean, now that the Vaudevillains are basically no more with Gotch being released, you're going to need new tag team blood. And, again, why not send over the longest reigning tag team champions in history? Couldn't hurt, right? I mean, so there are a lot of possibilities right here that we're going to be discussing next week once it goes down. Oh, yes, I almost forgot about this. We don't talk about NXT nearly as often as we should, if ever. We had the return of longtime WWE superstar Drew McIntyre. He's been making a name for himself over on the European circuit, down in Impact Wrestling. Drew's just been everywhere, winning championships. Drew's really gone a long way in reinventing himself from the days of 3MB and his former Chosen One gimmicks in WWE. So McIntyre is a great choice. I mean, obviously, coming back to NXT, I think was the best choice for him. Really get the lay of the new land in WWE, wrestle a few matches, then make his way up to Raw or SmackDown, where he can really flourish this time around. And on the upside, if that doesn't work out, you got McIntyre, you got Mahal, and you got Slater. 3MB reunion. Woo! There you go. Can't believe I'd be excited for a jobber group making their return. 3MB reunion. Woo! All right. But that being said, like I said, all in all, good for McIntyre making his return to WWE. He has really been making a name for himself down in the Indies, really helping reinvent himself, and I'm looking forward to his time on NXT and back on the WWE roster. All right, so that is all for this week. Of course, we have the brand new Raw GM, Kurt Angle. Just another addition to all the excitement going on. With, of course, Stephanie, us Jackals, cheering Stephanie for going through the table, and Mick Foley being fired as Raw GM. Of course, now we got Kurt Angle as the new Raw GM. Yes, the gold medal for Michael Mahoney. Yes, it's true. It's true. Kurt Angle back on WWE, back on Raw, and should provide many hilarious moments as the new Raw GM. And eventually, if he does end up being cleared to come back to the ring, I'm really looking forward to some of the big-time matchups that Kurt could have with the current crop of WWE superstars, particularly AJ Styles. Because Kurt's gone on record saying that AJ is one of the best performers he's ever been in the ring with. I mean, and he's talking about, and that includes Shawn Michaels. So that's a big up for AJ that Kurt thinks of him that highly. So that's one match I would definitely look forward to. Like I said, if there was a way that Kurt and Daniel Bryan could face off with each other just one time, I think the entire contingent of hardcore wrestling fans, I think their minds would implode. Their minds would be, well, sorry to quote Matt Hardy here, but broken. It'd be brilliant, and our minds would all be broken because of it. But again, wishful thinking, but something to think about, some food for thought. All right, so that's all for episode 162, I believe, 162 of the Wrestling Connection. Be sure to tune in next Friday at 3 for our breakdown of the Superstar shakeup. See who ends up where, what new feuds will come about, which superstars will end up where. So a lot to look forward to in the coming week. But in the meantime, spring is finally in the air. All the snow is gone. Go out, enjoy yourselves, have a great weekend, and remember, as always, to be connected, get connected,
Be connected.
stay connected. You have a good weekend, everyone.
I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's
Some things that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it. The Wrestling Connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Da 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 dee da da dee. Da 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 dee da. Ooh.